Some say that to help you experience life at sea, there are boats, but to experience a boat, well, for that, there are catamarans. Today, I'm in Sardinia, on the island of Caprera, to try this, the AQUILA 36 Sport. Well, let's get started, and welcome to the Boat Show. The concept behind this AQUILA model by MarineMax Group was to offer a day cruiser with spaces and livability also suitable for cruising, yet without giving up maximum comfort on board a boat of this size. At the stern, a large swimming platform divides the two outboards. The folding bathroom ladder is big, and it's actually one of the few ways to get into the water that I really consider suitable for a person with reduced mobility. I still remember my grandfather who, after a certain age, no longer felt like coming on a boat with the family, but he surely would have felt at ease here. This is also very convenient for going down to the quay when mooring alongside. However, even without a quay, the opening allows for a spectacular view. To access the cockpit and ensure passage from the starboard side, there is a sturdy handrail. On the left, convertible seating transforms from an intimate sofa bench overlooking the sea to a stern sundeck. The dinette is obviously huge. I say obviously because the 4.45-metre beam, dictated by the width of the two hulls, is used to have a work area to starboard with a barbecue module, a first fridge further aft, a galley with a sink, hobs, a second refrigerator, and even a waste carton. On the left, there is a living area with an up and down table and an L-shaped seat that can be transformed into an outdoor double bed. The model we are testing is set up with the full window version. The windows surround the entire hardtop area. Here you are indoors with a 360-degree view of the sea. In the helm station, the double seat is adjustable. The navigation bridge is simple and minimal, leaving the distinct features of the onboard instruments in view. A Mercury joystick with a virtual anchor is standard equipment. Next to the piloting area, a forward-facing bench that is pleasant and useful because it has a handrail and cushions on the side. This area is really safe during navigation. The passage toward the bow is positioned in the center, therefore it's very safe even during navigation. Thanks to these three windows, you can either seal yourself inside while navigating or decide how much air to let in and where to let it flow in, whether from above, from the center, or from below. The bow dinette is perhaps the most intimate area on the entire deck. The seats, which can be transformed into sun decks, are designed so that, together with the handrails, they allow you to enjoy safe navigation even from this area, which is normally not very much used while navigating.
Guardate questa cabina.
Look at this cabin, its volumes, its details. Naturally, the bathroom is dedicated to the cabin. Remember that there are two cabins on board that provide complete privacy, because one is located in the hull and the other in the other. What do you say? Do you think we are still on board a 36-footer? Throughout my entire career, I have sailed on hundreds of boats around the world, but returning to the Maddalena archipelago, on the boat and in the place of the free charter guys, is an incredible feeling. What do you say? Should we start navigating? The hull and the superstructure are hand-laminated with fiberglass and vinyl ester resin. Traditional laminations give more weight to the whole boat. We know this, but looking at how it was built and designed, for example, by observing the structures that support the entire hardtop, you understand that the concept is to be able to create a structurally solid boat. The MarineMax Group, which also incorporates the AQUILA brand, is an American group. This ensures the structural quality of the product, which is a must in the United States. However, the workforce is Chinese. which manages to lower the final price of the product.
del prodotto. Cominciamo a farlo uscire in planata.
Let's start getting it out in ploughing mode. Here we go, 4,000 RPM, 14.5 knots. We are consuming just under 40 litres per hour.
Meno di 40 litri per ora.
Today we have two 300 horsepower Mercury Verado aft, so 600 total horsepower. The maximum possibility, however, is to reach 800 horsepower with two engines of 400 horsepower each. Let's get to cruising speed, and then I'll tell you a secret about this AQUILA. 20 knots, 5,000 RPM. We are consuming a total of 120 litres per hour. Now, I tell you a correlation between this motor catamaran and the world of sailing. The 37th America's Cup, which will be held in Barcelona, required all teams to have chase boats, meaning support boats for racing boats, motor catamarans powered by hydrogen with foil. Why foil? Because the foil helps to consume less. It helps to have less drag on the hull and therefore needs less power, which consequently means less pollution for the environment.
Meno inquinamento per l'ambiente. Bene, anche AQUILA ha abbracciato questa tecnologia. Su richiesta
Well, AQUILA has also embraced this technology. Upon request, a fixed foil and two stabilising fins can be fitted to the stern. Naturally, this will not allow the AQUILA 36 to sail in full foiling, but it will lighten the hull, raise it enough to reach 8 knots more speed at the maximum peak, and consume 50% less fuel at cruising speed.
Consumare, pensate, il 50% in meno.
Sailing on a motor catamaran is always something special for those who are not used to it, and while veering, it behaves in a completely different way. We are used to veering and feeling the hull heel, tilting itself to the side and closing the tack. Well, that's not the case here. Check out what happens. It's as if we're on a go-kart. It leans on one of the two hulls slightly, but doesn't pull up the other one. I know this because the revolutions per minute on the two engines are equal, and both propellers are perfectly in the water. I can try to make the turn even narrower. The turning angle is impressive. It's as if it were spinning on itself. Look at how narrow the tack's perimeter is. What happens if I want to go at maximum speed? Let's try. The trim, of course, is still down because both engines want to have as much traction in the water as possible when turning. If the trim were up, the engines would definitely cavitate. Now it begins to veer. The feeling is amazing if you're not used to it.
Ci butta tutto all'esterno.
Two engines do not cavitate. They are continuing to have excellent traction. However, they close at full speed, and the hull behaves wonderfully, or more precisely, the two hulls. It really is a safe boat for everyone. Obviously, we are now putting it under pressure, but these hulls have not been designed to reach maximum speed, but rather to give unparalleled comfort underway. Although I just said that this catamaran is not made to reach the top speed, you all know by now that I can't help myself. The shipyard declares that with this engine, the AQUILA 36 Sport can reach 30 knots, and as always, I have two goals, one to reach it and the second to top it. Without touching the trim, we reach 6,000 RPM and 25 knots. I'm going to adjust the trim. We must first observe the data to learn how to adjust it. One of the engine revolutions and one of the speed. The revs must increase and the speed must also increase. But when the revs increase but the speed decreases, it means you overdid it with the trim. 6,200 RPM, we hit 30 knots. The first goal was achieved. I want to exaggerate it. I raised the trim even more, and at 6,300 RPM, we made 32.4 knots. We achieved my two goals.
oggi abbiamo scoperto che il catamarano è la
Today
barca
we discovered that the catamaran is the right boat to enjoy a relaxing day at sea to its fullest potential. And you know what? My day's not over yet.
La mia giornata non è ancora finita.